After 50, and with me today I have Karina Luper, who is the co-director of DEU Skincare UK. Welcome, Karina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Now, Karina, DEU Skincare is probably a brand that not many people have heard of. So perhaps you can just briefly tell us, what your company does and who you are.
Yes, DEU Skincare UK is the sole and only distributor for DEU Skincare, which is an Italian product that has just been launched.
Right.
It's been developed by a scientist called Rossella Rizzi, and in Italy she's very well known for having developed several anti-aging products, but now she's started her own line, of which the DEU All-in-One Serum is the flagship product.
Right, and I mean, it's described certainly on your website when I looked at it as an alternative, a real alternative to Botox and fillers. So, I mean, is that true, and can it really compare to Botox and filler treatments?
Well, when I think about it, I actually think it's the wrong way to put it, because in many ways it's better.
Right.
There are very good things about Botox and fillers. There are things that I think nothing can address better, like for instance a deep wrinkle here on the forehead, and also when there's been some trauma to the skin. I mean, I would never knock it, because it definitely has its uses, and when it's sensitively done you can't even see it. I mean, we all hear these terrible stories about bad plastic surgery and Botox, but let's be fair, there's very good work done as well.
Yes.
But what the DEU All-in-One Serum does is that it has a similar Botox and filler-like effect in lifting the skin. It also has several ingredients that has a filler-like effect, so it fills out and also stretches out the wrinkles so that you get a much softer look. But what it is beautifully targeted to do is that it can be put on your eyes all the way in here, so it lifts your eyelids, it smooths it out here, near your lips, your neck, your hands and your chest. And that is something that Botox and fillers cannot address. It can also not address the general skin tone and hydration. So I would say it's actually an adjunct to some plastic surgery and Botox, and then sometimes you can use it instead of. It all depends on what you feel you need.
Because I think originally, wasn't it developed on behalf of cosmetic surgeons who are looking for an alternative to recommend to their patients?
Yes, Rossella Rizzi wanted to develop something that could be used without injections, because there are various types of studies going on that it can have nasty side effects if it's not properly done. I can't comment on that because I haven't seen the results. This is hearsay only. But what I can say is that many people don't like to be injected, and their overall concern is having a more youthful look rather than a completely straight-faced look.
Yeah.
And as an adjunct to what plastic surgeons do, they had many things they couldn't address, like the eyes, the neck, the chest, the hands, and things that actually would give away that somebody had work. So it started like that, but found it could be used instead of in many cases.
Right. I mean, and what are the active ingredients then that make this so different? Because obviously lots of other brands and products have said that they can mimic Botox, but in reality, they don't really. So what makes your unique product so different to those already out there in the market?
Well, there are several aspects to this. The first one is the way it is developed. She's a skin scientist. She's been doing this for a good, I think it's 27 years by now, and she's highly regarded. And what she's done is she's used biotechnology on a medical device development model in order to make this serum so it actually penetrates the skin. There are three main ingredients. One is Nanochloropsis oculata, which is an algae from the North Atlantic. It comes from deep in the sea. It hasn't been exposed to the sun, so it's called a microalgae. Right. This is what has the lifting and firming effect on the skin. Along with that, you have hydrolyzed wheat gluten, which gives the immediate flash effect and the filler effect. And you obviously have the product that most will have heard of, which is hyaluronic acid. However, it is a very high weight hyaluronic acid. It's also tied to, in a biotechnology fashion, to a delivery molecule that penetrates deeper into the skin, and this is how you get this effect. When you've used the serum for a few days, well, anything from a week to 10 days, you will notice that it penetrates the skin almost immediately. Whereas to begin with, it can feel a bit wet for the first 10 minutes, and that is because it prepares and primes your skin to accept it.
All right. I mean, I've been using it. In fact, thank you very much. You sent me some to try, and I think I'm 9 days into it now, perhaps 10 days, and I have noticed my skin is absorbing it much more quickly now. The other thing I've noticed as well is I was starting prior to using it to have some feathering around my lips when I put my lipstick on. That feathering already has stopped. So that's already a plus for me. I don't know what the overall effect is going to be yet, but certainly the initial observations are really positive. So I'm looking forward to actually completing the whole course of treatment.
Well, I find that I used it myself last year. I mean, it does belong to the story that we started out as a medical device distribution company. So you can imagine my consternation when my husband brought home what I would consider a cosmetic. I looked at him and thought, have you lost your mind? This is not what we do. And he said, no, 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 this is a medical device. It addresses a completely different problem. So with being a non-compliant user, I'm like most, a very busy professional mother with a home, dogs, everything to take care of. I wasn't necessarily the most compliant and good person to try. I also had a lot of skin problems that comes with having hay fever from inability to wear eye makeup. I haven't worn eyeliner in years because everything around my eyes had creased completely. My eyelids had dropped. I had the feathering around the mouth. I had deep wrinkles here, and my skin was generally always dehydrated. So my belief in the product was probably at 20%.
Right.
So I used it, and within 10 days my eyes had lifted and the creasing in here that often cracked and hurt was healed. So I think sometimes, rather than just looking at the anti-wrinkle or lifting effect, it also has the most phenomenal healing effect because of the chamomile, hamamelis, Pygmium africanum, and all kinds of wonderful products or ingredients that are in this serum. So it has a cross effect that I can't say I found in anything else, and I have tried everything because I really did suffer.
Right. And the way the product looks and the way you apply it is actually very different to other products that I've used. I mean, I know it comes in a box like this, but in fact the actual product itself comes in these tiny little vials. And you kind of think, gosh, you know, there's not very much in there, and it looks a bit like a miniature beer bottle, really. And then I know you break the top of the vial off, don't you? And then you
shake it first.
Shake it first, and then you kind of use it with the pipette.
Yes.
Right. So why does it come in these little vials as opposed to a bigger container?
Oh, because it mustn't oxidize. Within 5 days of opening that vial, which also is brown to protect it from sunlight and any kind of artificial light, which will decrease the efficacy of the ingredients. Once you open it, it starts oxidizing, so you have 3 to 5 days to use it. I would recommend 3, but I know that the tests have said 5 days is fine.
Right.
There are absolutely no preservatives of any kind, shape or form in there.
Right.
As a result, you must always shake them, but this is why they come in these small vials, so that at no time is this quite costly but very efficient serum. It is not going to go to waste. It is extremely important it's handled right. And the thing to remember also is that this is not an ongoing thing you'd use, it's a treatment. And then you move on to adjunctive products.
Yes, so why is it that I know that certainly I've got the 21-day kit, haven't I, here? Why is it that it's recommended just for 21 days and not something to be used on an ongoing basis?
Because in the clinical testing, which was done at the University of Pavia, they found that the optimum effect was found, depending on your skin type and whatever problems you have, to appear within 21 to 30 days and to last for several months.
Right.
Therefore, you won't have an added benefit from using it beyond that. So we would be reluctant to sell it to someone to use daily because it's not going to give them an added benefit.
Right.
It is a treatment almost, I think one of the reasons it's likened to botox is that you'd use it every few months.
Right.
Rather than all the time. There are adjunctive products that can be found on the website, the Algae line, 4 products that you then keep using, and it's kept my results going since July.
Wow.
It's only now I start seeing some of the lines just here under my eyes, around my mouth, and some of the dryness around my eyes to come back, and it is so much better than it was. But I would never recommend an ongoing use because it is not necessary.
So for those that might be sort of tuning into this video at a later date, that's effectively sort of 9-10 months that your results have lasted for.
Yes, for me it has. Probably because I use the adjunctive product, which has the seaweed gel and the oligomarine cream, which I find, for me, extremely effective. Others who have used it have found 6 months fine. A couple of people found after 4.5 months they wanted to use it again, but more because they love the feeling of hydration than actual visual need.
Okay. And so, I mean, I may have seen, I know you've shared with me, and also I think on your Facebook page, haven't you, some incredible before and afters. In fact, I'm going to flash up one of the photographs now, and we will say the before is the one on the right and not on the left, so you don't think the lady's skin has got worse. The pictures have been put on the wrong way around.
She didn't get worse, though.
Yeah, but I mean, the results there are absolutely phenomenal, aren't they?
Yes.
And I mean, the effect it's had on her lower face particularly.
Yes, I mean, that was what concerned her the most. This was done on a lady who's, from what I understand, just over 60. It was in the United States. The distributor in southern United States did that in one of the clinics they own. And they were very happy with the results. In her particular case, I would like to point out that she was a regular user of a home derma roller. She didn't use it daily, but she did use it instead of the scrub we recommend. But that's, you know, this is the beauty of these products. You can use the serum with your own favorite products. You can buy the algae line. You can use it with various cosmetic procedures. It is very healing. It will improve anything you do.
Right. And it was, as we said before, it's a 21-day course, and then you may want to do it after 4 months, 6 months, or in your case, 9 months. But it is relatively expensive, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But I think if you look at the course over a month, or let's say 21 days, and compare it to what you'd use in resurfacing treatments, in hydrating treatments and creams, because the algae line, I would say, is on a par with most of the better brands that you find in department stores, price-wise. And I also think that it's a treatment, and you stop. So if you look at the long-term effect, instead of having to use other products that you have to use all the time, then I don't actually think it's that bad, and in fact it's quite good. And also the ingredients are unbelievably expensive to source, and the way they have to be bottled, the way they have to be taken care of, all of this is pricey for the manufacturer to do.
Right. And where is it available?
It is currently available on our website, and we're beginning to place it in clinics. We are looking at retail options, but it can be found on our website, www.deuskincare.co.uk. And there, I think, is the easiest place to get it right now. It will be available at the anti-aging show in May. And we have our salespeople now going out and seeing various places. I mean, to begin with, we have followed Rosella Ritz's lead and gone to cosmetic clinics, because that's what she developed it for. But you don't need to use that. And there are various beauticians and cosmetics establishments that are now coming to us.
Now, if somebody happened to come along to the anti-aging show, or even go onto your website, and they were slightly skeptical, because a lot of us are, because so many people have had, created products or sold products that haven't done what they say they're going to do. They don't actually have to necessarily buy the full 21 days in one go, do they? You can buy a smaller one just to see if you like it, and because I think that personally, if you hadn't been very kind and sent me some, that's probably what I would have done, was just bought a smaller one, just tried it perhaps on one part of my face that really concerned me, to see if it actually made a difference.
Yes, well, you can buy one, you can buy 3, or you can buy 7.
Right.
And the main thing to remember here is that it is a treatment over time. So using just one vial on a small area, it will give you the flash effect, it will hydrate you, and after one vial on one small part of the face will last you 5 days, because it's very viscous. It goes a lot further than it looks like it does.
Right.
This has been carefully measured out and tested so that there is enough for what we feel the customer needs.
Okay.
But you can definitely start with 1. You will see a flash effect and a hydrating effect within 2 days. You can start with 3 and see how you feel. If you feel it doesn't work for you, fine. People are different. I think someone once told me beautician said that she finds that 10% of her clients will always not respond to a particular treatment.
Right.
Again, this is from someone who works like that. I can only go by what they tell me, but we have found uniformly that the people we have sold it to, given it to, have been delighted.
Right. Well, as I said, so far I'm 9 or 10 days in, and I can see a difference. So I'm looking forward to the full 21 days. I'm looking forward to meeting you at the anti-aging show. And obviously, for those that can't make it along to the show at Olympia, which is in mid-May, is it the 15th, 16th of May, I think?
It's the 16th and 17th.
Right, okay. And I have to be there on the 15th to set up. Right, so 16th, 17th of May, they can come along, meet your team, can't they? Buy the product if they so wish, and
Yes.
ask any questions they may have on the day. But if not, they can go to your website, can't they?
Yes, they can. All the scientific data is explained very carefully. There's a lot of thinking that went into this. It took Rosella Rizzi 6 years to develop this, and she took her time. And she tested and tested and tested, and I think she got there. The thing to remember is, in our experience, this is an extremely caring and honest woman, and she has this ethos: nothing will go on the market she doesn't believe to do a lot of good.
Right.
So it's a nice thing to know that this is not someone who is trying to essentially rip somebody off. She really believes in her products because she knows them in her experience and in her testing to work.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and I look forward to the outcome of my 21-day treatment plan, and to seeing you very shortly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.